Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello Indonesia, my name is Eko Prasetyo. I'm a student majoring in accounting in Trunojoyo University of Madura, and I'm 6th semester now. So this is my last chance to compete in Mawapres 2017. So I will give my best shot to win in this last chance. I would like to explain a presentation about my proposal with the title COZIS Program Coin Zakat, Infak and Sodako as an alternative to alleviate the poverty level of society. Firstly, I will explain why I take this title. The poverty problem is the problem that most concerned in the country. The development in the country can be called successful if the country can reduce the poverty level. The poverty level is includes which will influence whether the country, including the developed country, developing or poor country. So that is the primary motivation why each country competes each other to be the most developed country in the world. To reduce that poverty, there is many things can do. One of them with ZIS or Zakat, Infak and Sodako. Zakat, according to terminology, mean is a certain treasure required by Allah to be given to mustahik who mentioned in Quran, while infak in language is from the word of anfaqo, that means is giving something to the others. And lastly, sodako in terminology of Sharia, the understanding and the law is equal to the infak. Just only sodako is not only be used in the things that are material, but involved to all activity that are good. However, in managing zakat, infak, and sodako, BAZ or Regional Amil Zakat Agency is encounter some difficulty in optimizing the management of zakat, infak, and sodako. So, in order to optimizing the collection and distribution of zakat, infak, and sodako, Regional Amil Zakat Agency as an institution management of CIS must have a new program that can be more productively collection of distribution of CIS, so it can be done more effectively. And the question now, what program can overcome that problem? But before that, in practice business of today, both mini market, supermarket, and others, there is a problem that always be an obstacle between the buyer and the seller. That's problem related to the change money in the form of coin that always be given in the form of candy, or allocated to the donation program that the majority of the buyer do not know the system related to the program of donation. Change money in the form of candy also cannot be rejected because the cashier stock of coin is run out. So the buyer inevitably must be receptive in the change money of the candy. When the stock of coin in the cashier and the refund in the form of the coin is given to the buyer, other problem could potentially arise. Change money in the form of coin that accepted by the buyer sometimes don't be used by the reason of its small value. By the result, the coin eventually will settle in the buyer. Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia, Donald Wallace, as he quote from Antara News, he said only 16% of the total coin in circulation, as much as 6 trillion rupiah, that were returned to the Bank Indonesia within a period of 10 years until June 2016. If it still continues, Bank Indonesia will shortage its stock of coin. So it is important to empowerment the use of coin to increase the stock of coin of Bank Indonesia. This problem can occur because the buyer is always think that the coin is not important because it's small value. Whereas if the coin is accumulated, it will be the big money. So instead the accumulated coin is received by the buyer and increase its benefit, certainly it will be better if we can distribute to the society who in greater need. So it can reduce the poverty level in Indonesia. Besides, cooperate with the mini market, Regional Amil Zakat Agency cooperate with the bank to exchange the money coin that have been collected for each mini market that have been collaborated. With the change money of coin, it's expected to increase the rate of return of coin that received by Bank Indonesia. It can increase the stock of coin of Bank Indonesia. Therefore, to answer the question, then overcome this problem, I write the proposal with the title, "Cause this program point zakat, infak, and sodako as an alternative to alleviate the poverty level of society." So, it will provide a new alternative to regional amil zakat agency to optimizing the collection and distribution of zakat, infak, and sodako and reduce the poverty level of Indonesia. So, that's from my Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.